G'day everyone, welcome back. Alright, well, welcome back to what will be, in theory, the last episode on doing the dual cab conversion, tray and exhaust stacks on my 93 GQ Patrol. You pretty much join me, well, more or less exactly where we left the last episode. Tray is got the decking boards cut. I did laminate that center board together, although there's an issue with that, but we'll go through that in a minute. Back wall is what the back wall is, and we've got to put the window back in. So there's still a fair bit to get done. We're going to paint the stacks as well, put some lights on, mud flaps, actually finish the tray off completely. So oil the decking, prep and oil the boards for the tray, finish the interior, put my batteries back in. There's still a fair bit to do. So yeah, anyway, has to be done. We got to get it done. I have a very important date with it, and I can't miss it. So we're just going to have to lay in and get this thing finished off. So I think first job for the morning for you is to go and hit the subscribe button. That'd be fantastic. For me, I'm going to get this back window in. That's pretty much the only thing stopping this cab from being watertight is actually having the back window in. So I want that done, and then that means I can actually come through and finish a lot of the interior as well. To do that, we're going to have to get the tray out of the way, so that's fine. We'll fire the forklift up, bugger it off, back window in, and then we're going to turn our attention to painting the stacks. Again, once they're painted, they can go on, and the car itself is sort of to the point of being done. Exterior. I still got to do the interior, like I said. Once the stacks are painted, then we're going to go back to the tray. I've got to weld some plates or some flat bar in under the decking boards at either end for me to drill and tap and put bolts into, so the decking boards are secured. Then we're going to take all the boards off, oil them, or sand them, oil them, and we're also going to paint the tray. Now I have two options for the tray. I'm either going to spray it with like some bed liner, or I've got some chassis paint here, I've got a bit of that left, or I am thinking I've still got plenty of colour left. I'm actually thinking about hitting it with some etch prime and then putting a couple of coats of colour on. Probably won't worry too much about the clear, because off the gun the colour actually comes out relatively shiny. So yeah, I'm sort of leaning more towards colour matching the tray. I've got the paint there, I might as well. So, but yeah. Anyway, like I said, first job for the morning, back window. So let's get the tray out of the way and get that done. All right. Like most projects, one step forward, two steps back. I want to put the back window in, obviously, like I said, but I've got to finish the roof lining first, because it's got to come through and then tuck into effectively the window rubber. That's what's going to have to hold it in place. To put the lining up, I've got to get the sides up. To get the sides on, I've actually got to put the plastic trim panels back on the back, and I need to cut them to size. So like I said, one step forward, two steps back, but that's fine. It's all got to happen. It's just, that's all right, we'll get it done. So these lower ones get cut, and then there's the upper ones as well which get cut, and I just got to trim for these little, I got the little carpet sections for the wheel arches too. So yeah, and I'll probably at that point I'll have to put the seat belts back in as well. So anyway, it's all got to happen, but we'll get it done. Update time. No, there's no glass in there yet. No glass, just sort of trial running the rubber, seeing how that goes. I may have to get different rubber, which is a bit of a pain, so I'll show you the inside now. So down there, let's see if the camera will sort itself out. So all the interior panels in, the carpet's just sort of sitting there, but yeah, plastics in, seat belt, roof lining's pulled back. Now effectively all I've done is gone from this last bow, which is there, and then just come back and made it go in under the rubber. It's not pulled quite as nice as I'd like it, but when the hang on, let me get a light. Let me just get a light. We'll sort this out. Sorry. All right, so come on. There we go. So when everything actually, that did not help in one bit. If anything, that made it worse. Let's just do that. Oh, far out. Cameraman, I am definitely not. Anyway, all right. Let's try this. All right, so when the rubber's up there and it's capsulating, the roof lining comes in, goes up and around the surround, the rubber's capturing it. When the locking strip goes back in the rubber will pinch around the roof liner and the steel a lot tighter, and I'm hoping that just pulls that last little bit in. If it doesn't, I don't care. At this point, I care, and you know, interior work is not really my forte. I haven't really done much of it, and yeah. Anyway, that's where we're at. So now, I think I'm going to probably pull this rubber back out and load the rubber with mastic, which I've got here. So this is the stuff you're supposed to use for putting windscreens and things in. It's actual caulking mastic. It doesn't go hard. It stays slightly flexible. So yeah, essentially you squeeze that in all the bead, you put it all in, makes a hell of a mess. It forms a skin around the perimeter, so it stops water in, but it stays flexible. So, you know, you get movement in the cab, heat of the day, expansion, whatever, and it still holds the seal, in theory. So, but you're supposed to put that in before you put the rubber up. So that's where we are. Pull it back out, put that in. Everyone will be done. But I am pretty happy with the way the interior's come together. I think it'll look pretty good. Couple little trim panels, and eventually I will make a back wall sort of thing for there. I don't know, a bit of plywood maybe, just to cover up the bracing, and I'll probably put some sound deadening or some, yeah. I mean, it doesn't reverberate too bad, but yeah, just some like butyl style backer, not sound deadener so much. It just takes the reverberation out of the panel. And then I may actually put some nice open cell foam sound deadening in it too, because you know, we do have 5-inch exhaust stacks at the back, so if I can shut up a bit of noise back here, it's probably not a bad idea. Righto. This window is going to suck. I'm not looking forward to it. But no one else is going to do it, so let's go. Well, I've wrestled with that long enough to know that I cannot do it by myself. So I'm going to have to wait for help to get here. So in the meantime, I'm going to turn my attention to getting my batteries back in. So the batteries in this, they're not under the bonnet, they're in the back here. If you've watched any of the other episodes, you probably will have seen it. Now, conveniently, this board, which has my dual battery controller, some fuses, circuit breaker bits and pieces, it's going to go straight back in. It used to sit a little bit further back, probably another 200 mil or another 100 mil further back, but it'll still fit there, the seats will still come down, and the battery still fit in. All I really need to do is drill through and put some bolts to hold it, and I'll probably make up a block for the middle, just to sort of support some weight there. And then that'll be it. Then I can sit my batteries back in. Over that side where that little notch cutout is, that's where the big main cables come up. So there's a big power and a big ground. So they'll come up through there. Main batteries on this side, auxiliaries on this side. And yeah, I will need to make some sort of straps or some sort of retainers. So I'll have to see how all that pans out. But I think that's my sort of nice little procrastination step. And the thing is, once that's in and the batteries are in, then that's the interior done as far as the back wall is concerned. That's it. The interior is completely finished, back together. So, oh, hang on. I've got to put grab handles back on. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Drill through. I might even put, I think in the last one I actually had some nut certs, which might be a good idea because I've got like a nice little ledge there. I could drop some nut certs in. Is that, surely that's not a threaded hole. I couldn't be that lucky, could I, to actually have a threaded hole there? Surely not. Ugh. I think it is. Oh, that's cool. Alright, well that's easy. I might not even have to put a nut cert in it. It might be easier than I thought. Alright. Masked up around there so that I can try and limit how much mastic goes everywhere. It's going to make a mess, there's no two ways about it. But anyway, and help has arrived. So, thanks help. It's going to be a shit job. Anyway, I got the time lapse on so you can watch us struggle in high speed. Well, there is now a window. I can't put my hand through there anymore, so that's a bonus. Just a lot of cleanup work to do. It wasn't as bad as it was trial fitting it. I don't know why. I don't know if the mastic sort of helped lubricate the rubber a bit as it went through. Still trying to put this freaking key in, or the lock in, whatever. Pain in the butt. I guarantee there is a tool for doing it, because it's too much of a shit of a job for there not to be a tool. Someone would have come up with it. But anyway, I don't really have any tips for anybody who wants to do it other than pay someone to do it, because it sucks. So yeah, clean up. Brake clean seems to dissolve it pretty quick, so we'll go through and clean the window and clean the back of the cab, and we are good. I am going to run across the top and just down the sides. I'm going to run a bead of actual black Celastic, like exterior proper black Celastic, because I need to cover the clips. You can just see them poking up out the top of the rubber. If the rubber was another 3 or 4 mil taller, I wouldn't worry, but yeah, because you can just see them, I'm worried that the moisture will get into them and rust them, and then, you know, it just gets worse from there. So other than that and the fact that the batteries are in, and like in wired up, everything dual battery, means that the cab, as far as the dual cab chopper is concerned, is done. So the only thing left now is to finish the tray and just tidy up some wiring and lights and bits and pieces, but the cab portion of everything is completely done. So that's a good milestone. We'll jump forward a step or two, but stacks are painted, they're on, so it's a sort of grabbed the wrong can, but anyway, I like it. It's staying there. It's actually a hammer finish, charcoal hammer finish is what it is. But I mean, as far as the color code goes, it's pretty good, and I kind of like the fact that they're painted actually. And we just had to test whether there's smoke come out of them still. Yep, smoke still comes out of them.
So you didn't fix that?
No, smoke still comes out. And just by the way, for anybody who was concerned, that's not the first time we fired it up. It's been running for probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes anyway. We were mucking around with it before. So the engine's warm, calm down. It was not a cold rev. Anyway, I can't wait to get this thing out with the tray on. Tray's very much next. So the car is done now. Inside's done, like I showed before anyway, but you know, all our trim panels are on. Inside's all back together, vacuumed out. You know, batteries are in. Everything's done. We're cleaned up. You know, it's the car's finished. So we're onto the tray now. And as soon as the tray goes on, or as soon as the tray's done, we're rolling out, and I'm going to get the drone, and we're going to do some nice, cool shots, rolling some coal out of the stack. So don't worry, that'll happen in this episode. Well, it's really hooking on with the tray. There's my lights. They're, you know, very much cheap eBay lights, but they'll go, they'll run. I'm not too stressed about them for the moment. How long they're going to last? I'm going to say probably not very long, but that's about all the budget and the time frame was going to allow me to get. So yeah, I think probably down the track I'll end up making some nice ones down here, maybe some nice round ones to go in it. I don't know, we'll see. They were $15 off eBay for the pair. Any other ones I was looking at locally, per side, it was between $70 to $200 a side. So you're talking, you know, $150 to $400 for a pair of taillights, for a combination set like that. So I wasn't paying that. I'll probably end up flipping that the other way. So I don't know, we'll see. Everything else is welded though on the tray. So I've got, these are the boards will rest on this side, and I'm going to drill and tap and put M6 countersunk bolts into this, so that way the back's held. I didn't really bother putting one at the front. You've only got, you know, yay far. I'll drill and tap and put a row into this beam. we'll see. If the ends start to walk and look funny, I can come back and do it later. But again, let's remember this was supposed to be a quick knock together tray just to get the thing through engineering. And I feel like I might have gone a little bit further than that, but anyway, that's all right. Here we are. We'll get it done. I'm going to go and get some paint and get it painted and then start working on the boards. Next little one to tackle is the boards. Now, these have been sitting out in the weather for quite a long time, and Merbau turns grey, has a tendency to turn grey if it's not oiled or anything when it's out in the weather. All the colour sort of washes off the first layer, and it sort of kills the first few layers of cells in the timber and turns it grey. Now, I don't want to spend forever coming through and sanding these beautifully, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a tester. I'm going to hit it with a belt sander, just along the grain, obviously, and see if that brings the colour back up. If it does, I'm going to just hit it with a bit of decking oil. I might have to use the orbital sander, so I'll do a test with the orbital sander, and then if the decking oil that I've got, which is just a clear oil, if it doesn't bring the colour back beautifully, then I'll probably just end up going and getting a Merbau coloured oil, so it's sort of got a bit of a tint in it as well. Might make the process a bit quicker, but anyway, we'll try it with a belt sander first and we'll see what colour comes up like. So, 3 comparisons just for it. That's before I did anything. All these 3 boards were pretty much the same sort of level of degradation. So before I did anything, that's with the belt sander. Probably took me, I don't know, 2 minutes maybe. It's a pretty aggressive belt on the sander, but the surface feels fine because it's going with the grain. It's all right. That's with the orbital sander. There's marks in the surface because it's, you know, some of it's going across the grain, some of it's going with. I can see heavy marks in the surface, and that one probably took me, I probably spent about twice as long on that one, and I don't think it's as good as that. I think because these boards are slightly warped just from over time, the belt sander hits the sides, rips it down, gets the center. The orbital sander just doesn't remove quite as much material as quick, so yeah, that's why it still looks a bit light. So belt sander for the win, and I'll go and get the oil and I'll see what it looks like, but I think it's going to come up quite fine because it's removed all the dead cells off the top. I'll use the orbital. It was much easier to get the corners and everything to tidy them up, and I'll definitely use them for deburring the edges, but I think as far as getting the surface ready for oil, belt sander. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get it all sorted. And I'd like to say too, this stand, little work stand here, it's just a Triton branded thing. It is freaking fantastic. It was actually given to me by a very generous subscriber when I was doing the roof work on the boat. If you go to the boat channel and have a look at the roof rebuild, that's where I was given this. Yeah, like I said, very generous subscriber come out and he gave it to me. He said, you can have it. I've never really used it, and I will admit it's a bit bulky and awkward to set up, but once it's set up, it's a fantastic clamp and work table. Yeah, I love it. So anyway, big thank you to you, and I'm going to get to work. I've got my whole pile of boards there. They don't look too bad, but they're still all going to get ripped. A couple of them are still, well, like that one in particular, needs cleaning up. So I'll try and get them all to the same finish, and then we'll come along and oil them all. All right, now we got some comparisons. Original, sanded with a belt sander, and then oiled. So it is actually a tinted oil. It says natural on the tin, but it is slightly tinted, but that's all right. So we're gonna definitely darkens it up and highlights all the grain. So yeah, we're going from that to that. Pretty big milestone. Tray is on. Bolted, everything. Tow bar's back on and bolted. Lights are in and wired. They do actually work. I've got to finish off the wiring, just tidying everything up, and I've got to wire the trailer plug in yet. But other than that, it's on. So, something a little bit annoyed about. That paint there, I went and brought. It's exactly the same tin, same barcode, same everything. There's that paint there. They're both. So these are the two tins. That's the one I painted the stacks with. It's, you know, Kill Rust, charcoal, everything, wattle branded. Exactly the same tin. Charcoal, hammer finish, Kill Rust, completely different colour. So anyway, that's a bit annoying, but at this point in time, whatever. I gotta keep moving. It's funny though. So that's the new tin, and then it matches pretty close with the way the original paint looks, but the old tin matches pretty close with the way the new paint looks. Anyway, that's alright. It's a bit of a tiger stripe of a car, but that's okay. It's fine. Alright, so now I've got to put the deck boards on and go ahead, and I've got to drill them all off and get them all tapped to bolt them down. Like I've already mentioned, I'm using M6, or I'm actually using M5 countersunk stainless bolts. And I got this little tool here, which is actually for pre-drilling for decking boards, I suppose. But what it does is you run it through, and it's got a little secondary countersink cutter at the top. Come on, camera. There you go. So there's a countersink cutter at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through and I'm going to drill the boards, run the countersink cutter down, and I will have to make the hole bigger. But they sit beautiful and flush, and that'll also pre-drill me for my all the tapping drill size. Well, that's not tapping drill size. I should measure it. No, it's not tapping drill size. But anyway, that'll give me the pre-drill in all the steel. So yeah, I'll have to come along and enlarge them, enlarge the tapping drill size, or go to tapping size, and then tap them. But that's all right. It's a fairly lengthy process, but that's going to make every countersink the same. And yeah, like I said, it'll give me my center anyway. So that's definitely a time-lapse job. Put them all on and we'll get it done. As you saw, all the holes drilled and tapped. So it wasn't too bad of a job actually. I was expecting it to be a bit worse, but anyway, it was only probably an hour or so to get them everything drilled and tapped, and they're all cleaned and deburred and prepped and everything. So what I want to do though, obviously they're upside down at the moment, is I want to put one more coat of oil on them, the decking oil. And I want to try and do it with them on the tray, so that way I can try and get a nice even sort of distribution of oil on them. But I don't want to screw them down first, because if I screw them down first, then the staining in the decking oil is going to stain them, and I'm also going to have to mask the tray side up too. So yeah, I need to do a little bit of order of operations, but I'll mask the tray, and That's just purely so I don't stain it, obviously. So I'll mask that, we'll sit all the boards back in, I'll give it a hit with the stain, and then I'll come through and we'll put all 120 screws in. So yeah, get it done. We're nearly there. It's a final push. Well, I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but that tray is freaking awesome. That just, I don't know. I had some plans in mind when I thought about a tray, you know. If you remember back to some of the earlier episodes of, or, you know, whatever, one of the previous episodes about wanting to do the whole chop and everything, and I went, yeah, I'm just going to knock together a quick tray, just a really quick steel tray, just so that, you know, I have something on the back come engineering time, and also, you know, there just needs to be something on the back. Well, I mean, I'm not too worried about the back wall being a little bit iffy anymore, because you're not going to look past the tray. It just looks freaking awesome. Like, yeah, that second coat of oil really brought it all, and I think it was a good idea doing it like all together like I did, because it's just blended all the colors. Yeah, all the stainless screws are bolted. There's a couple of tiny little gaps. I guess if I really have to pick on something, which me being me, I probably do, there's a gap there because that board there is a little bit warped. And I think I've got another one sort of there. Maybe if I had to relay the boards better, I could have got rid of all the gaps, but I mean, like, you only notice it when you stand right there. You go there, gap disappears. So yeah, I'm ecstatic. I think it looks awesome. I think the color contrast between like the hammer tone charcoal color and the planks is awesome. I'm really glad I oiled it before I put the screws in, because the screws just pop. Like, they just, yeah, they look awesome. Yeah, and I mean, you got, apart from the 2 screws that come out, or 3 screws that come out there around the stacks, they're all in a nice dead straight line. Like, that sort of stuff might seem a little bit wankery and take a little bit long extra time, but I tell you what, marking them out, putting the lines down, putting tape down first so you don't have like scribe marks or, you know, pencil marks or anything to rub off. It just looks so clean. So anyway, if you can't tell, I'm very, very happy with the tray. And that's almost it. So the lights are wired up. I've just got to run the wiring for the trailer plug. So it's just going to come up here, and I've just got the trailer plug. I'll mount it up off this or something like that, and I have to go and get a number plate light. So the number plate's just going to go sort of on here. Yeah, I mean, the lights are fine, they work. I'm not super happy with them. I mean, yeah, I'll do something different eventually, especially once these side toolboxes are made down here. They'll sort of follow this line, they'll come down to about there, and then they'll taper up. When they taper up, I'll probably make them so they're this big on the ends, and I'll put some nicer lights in there, and I'll just weld those holes up and give a grind back and a quick touch up paint. It is the beauty about just doing rattle can, except if you know, buy exactly the same paint and get a different color. Anyway, we won't go delve too deep into that, but that's us. So let me finish up the last few things. We're going to take it for a bit of a cruise down the road, and we're going to get some good shots of the actual stacks going down the road, get a little bit of coal rolling out of them, and see if we can't get some good drive-by shots. Alright, well, that's it. It's done, more or less. there's still things to finish off before engineering, but as far as the dual cab conversion, stacks, tray, chop, she's done. So, I mean, that's the end of this episode. And
Blackness inside.
they're turning black. So that little run with the drone, hopefully I got some okay footage. We'll see. Time will tell through editing, but yeah. They warm? No. Warm, yeah.
Tray's hotter with the sun.
The tray's hot. Yeah. Just going off that drone footage, they don't push as much soot as I thought they would. There's some that comes out, but it's not hectic.
It is quieter in the cab.
It is quieter in the cab. I think because the noise is up there and it's not reverberating through the wagon body, it is actually quieter in the cab. The engine is still noisy, but the exhaust is quieter. So anyway, all right, well, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching along and yeah, being a part of the dual cab series. There's plenty more to go, not so much with the dual cab, but
You have to do an engineering update.
yeah, there will be. So I'll come back and I'll let you know how engineering goes. I'll let you know how that process goes, because it's apparent from some of the comments that there's quite a lot of overseas viewers, especially from America, and engineering doesn't really seem to be a thing over there. So yeah, I'll give you a rundown on the process and whether it passed. It won't, not straight up. I'm not expecting it to pass straight up.
There'll be something.
I'm fully expecting there to be a list of things to fix, which is completely fine. That's how it goes. But yeah, I'll keep you abreast of all that. There won't really be any more videos this year. That's it. I'm done. It's, you know, early December and I'm cooked. So yeah. But next year, I don't think there'll be any new projects next year, but I'm going to try really hard to actually finish some. Okay, I'm going to try really hard to make some progress on some projects I already have.
Like racing lawnmowers 2 years ago.
Racing lawnmowers, RX-7s, gyros, boats.
Oh, gyro's nearly done.
Yours is?
No, we got the
no. Oh yeah, we brought 2 more gyros too. So
yeah, why not?
yeah, there'll be more on this. As soon as this thing's engineered and back to full rego and on the road, this thing is going out in the bush. It's going to get really, really dirty, and we're going to get really, really drunk somewhere on a track out the back.
Promise?
That is a promise. That's a promise. So yeah. Anyway, definitely subscribe if you want to see more. As I said, probably not much more this year, but next year I'm going to make a solid effort to, like I said, work on projects I already have.
I bet you get a shed of your own.
I might get a shed of my own. Yeah, well, no, yours has got more stuff in it, more room. All right, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Happy New Year. Stay safe. And I mean, it's not really up to me to tell you how much you should or shouldn't drink. So just so long as you have a good time. Righto. We'll catch you in the new year.